before we start naming names of people we like, let's start talking about like ground rules for this draft. What's at stake? How important is this particular draft compared to other drafts this regime has had? And what type of risks can they take? Can they draft a guy with character issues, coming off of surgery, someone who shouldn't be there at 11, who might fall? Or do they have to like be as freaking safe as possible? What do you think?
I think that this is the most important draft they've had in a couple years. This is going to be a huge one, especially since they've lost all this talent. They need to draft a lot of really big talent. And they need to get some names that are going to perform immediately. Like they need to get some D tackles that are going to be amazing. They need that. They have no depth there right now. They need a new linebacker to cover Dre Greenlaw's spot, unless they really think Winters is going to be the guy. They probably need a new corner. They don't really have too many corners other than Demo. And it's just there's so many holes in this team right now that they really need to fill. And if they can't, it feels like it's inevitable that they fail in the playoffs or just flat out don't make it.
Yeah. I think the future of the regime depends on this draft. Like I think the organization is looking at the Rams. I think they were trying to find a reason not to fire John and Kyle, because with the Rams, I mean, they had a down season after they won the Super Bowl. No one's upset about that. But having a down season after you lose another Super Bowl is very painful. And I think the owners were like, okay, let's not be hasty here. Let's not be emotional. We're pissed. And we hate Kyle. No, I don't know if they said that. But we're pissed. But look at the Rams. Look at the Rams, right? They had that down year, and they had these 2 great drafts in a row, and they're back. So let's give Kyle and John the opportunity to do what the Rams did, because they've been right there neck and neck with the Rams kind of the last 8 years. So this is their chance, man. You got no D-line right now. The Rams D-line is full of players they drafted the last 2 drafts. The Niners are obviously going to try to replicate that. If they can, great. If not, I don't know. We'll see if they can. I mean, this is the regime that drafted Kinlaw and Solomon Thomas. I have my doubts.
By the way, Kinlaw getting that big money this offseason.
Congrats, Javon.
That was crazy to me too.
That was crazy. Yeah.
I did not expect him to get the bag. But they're this draft, going back to that, it's huge, man. And the big news for them, the like big deal, they have 11 picks. 11 picks. And a lot of that's from that comp pick system, which, to be completely frank, I do not really understand that very well. But they have a lot of picks. And also, oddly, nothing in the 6th round. I thought that was interesting. They have like 3 7s, 3 5s, nothing in the 6th. I don't know. That looked weird to me, but they have a lot of opportunity, man. They gotta get some hits here, though. And I think there's a few guys in particular when we get to the names that are some older guys that are going to be coming in as like 24, 25, that they could maybe be a really good option just because they kind of have some talent there and they're already grown and a little bit mature, that it could work. But they need to hit. They need to hit so bad.
Right. And so that's the final point I want to make before we move on to the names, because I think the reason the Niners are in this spot where this draft is so important is because they've taken players in round 1 who were absolute busts, like not just not worthy of the pick, but just not players, guys who gave them almost nothing. And that's because they've taken risks. Like Kinlaw had a knee issue. They knew it. And they're not the organization that really does a good job rehabilitating players. They've never been that organization. They get high marks from players about everything except training room and trainers every year. It's just not what they invest in. So that was a mistake. You drafted Reuben Foster in round 1, even though he got sent home from the combine.
Yeah.
Clear character issue. You drafted him anyway. So you can't do that, man. No dudes with a bad knee or a bad foot, or who, they had surgery, but they're doing good, or their character concern. None of that. None of that. You're drafting the next DeForest Buckner, someone that buttoned up and professional.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like ideally every team would want to do that, but I feel like sometimes there's some guys that are just so talented. I don't really know if there's anyone like that this year because I don't know too much about this draft class.
Well, there's that offensive tackle from Ohio State, Josh Simmons. He's really good, but he tore his patella tendon. Like, absolutely not. No, take him off your draft board. Another team could try that.
They're not going to pick a tackle anyway. I feel like their tackles are going to secure a
guard. Like James Pierce Jr., pass rusher from Tennessee. It's been rumors that there's character concerns with him. I don't know what they are. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. Niners would know. And if they're real, then no, you can't go. You can't be the pick. Sorry.
Yeah. Do you
Sorry.
have a favorite like story from the draft of like a player's like character coming into question with something? Like, is there any moments like that that you have in your brain that you're like, oh, that was a good one? Because I got one.
Well, I mean, I was at the Mike Green press conference when he was getting asked about his incidents, multiple, and it was strange to hear him answer the question. I mean, he's very rehearsed. He did it professionally, and I don't have an opinion on whether or not he did it or not. I mean, he didn't get anyway. That was awkward.
See
Be
that
like, yeah,
moment, it reminds me of this. I think it's a Michigan baseball player. I don't know if you saw this at all, but this Michigan baseball player, he got hit a triple, and his celebration was sniffing the like foul line, and he immediately had to do a post on like Twitter, being like, "I'm so sorry, this doesn't reflect my character." It was the most like obviously like PR thing ever. That kind of reminds me of that. My
dude,
favorite moment
baseball has
though,
gotten so weird. I would never like you. What? Why would you do that?
dude. No,
Just
I
put your
I
head
love
down and run the bases and get in the freaking dugout. What are you doing?
no.
But
This
now
is
it's like you have to celebrate, do something outlandish. Otherwise, it's like I don't understand baseball anymore.
well, no, that's like a call. There's like a soccer player, former like Liverpool player, that he
Do
did
the same
that
thing.
celebration. So it's like years
Oh,
and years and years ago. So to
got
me,
it.
it's kind of a callback at that. The kid's like
Callback.
my age, so he probably didn't even know that that happened. But
Interesting.
the best
Callback.
story though is Laramie Tunsil. That's the best one, and I don't even need to explain the details. If you
Why?
know, you
Why
know.
did he just get traded? Is because of that?
Hell no, because that was years ago. No way. But him
I don't
getting traded,
understand.
that was weird too.
Just when I thought Adam Peters couldn't make a worse move with the signing of Kinlaw, he goes and trades for Laramie Tunsil and completely redeems himself.